Donald Trump knows his presidency has been a failure, and it's been a failure because he has broken every single promise he made to his supporters on the campaign trail. And now he has to distract them with new promises to open up Alcatraz, to take back the Panama Canal, and to make Canada the 51st state. Idiotic ideas that are only meant to shift our focus. But someone who will not allow that to happen is Prime Minister Mark Carney, who came to the White House today and shut up Donald Trump to his face, and a takedown that had Donald Trump spiraling. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we see what Carney had to say to Donald Trump, I want to see how Donald Trump started off his Oval Office presser with the Canadian Prime Minister attacking President Obama.
President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well, he got woke people, and they have massive cost overruns. The job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster. And I don't like that happening because I think it's bad for the presidency that a thing like that should happen. He's got a library that's a disaster. And he wanted to be very politically correct, and he didn't use good, hard, tough, mean construction workers that I love, Marco. I love those construction workers. But he didn't want construction workers. He wanted people that, never did it before, and he's got a disaster in his hands.
Donald Trump's brain is mush. This is 25th Amendment time. It could not be clearer that this is a man incapable of any complex thought, any reasoning, logic, not like he ever was before. This is not a smart person. He's one of the few people in history who was able to bankrupt a casino. But what is he talking about? He is the Prime Minister of Canada next to him, and he's talking about delays to President Obama's presidential library. This is nonsensical and just shows how distracted and angry he is. When Donald Trump knows his back is against the wall, he starts lashing out at the people he considers his political enemies. And what does Barack Obama have anything to do with Canada? It doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is why Donald Trump is so scared. Because Mark Carney is not going to let Donald Trump bully him, and neither is the rest of the world, which Donald Trump made pretty clear with his meltdown right here.
It's necessarily on trade. Just to finish, we also have a situation, because everyone says, when are you going to sign deals? We don't have to sign deals. We could sign 25 deals right now, Howard, if we wanted. We don't have to sign deals. They have to sign deals with us. They want a piece of our market. We don't want a piece of their market. We don't care about their market. They want a piece of our market. So we can just sit down, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks, and I'll sit with Howard and Scott and with our great vice president, who has done a really good job. We have some good news to report on a lot of fronts, but JD will be there, and Marco, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to put very fair numbers down, and we're going to say, here's what this country, what we want, and congratulations, we have a deal. And they'll either say, great, and they'll start shopping, or they'll say, not good, we're not going to do it. I said, that's okay, you don't have to shop. Now, we may think, well, they have a right, that maybe we were a little bit wrong, so we'll adjust it.
Donald Trump saying he could do any deal he wants, and there are so many deals, and he's going to do all the deals, really assures me that there are no deals, that other countries who now see the United States as an unreliable trading partner are siding with China, and they are not going to do a deal with us until there's a deal done with China. And China, clearly from all of the reporting coming out about the refusal to take Donald Trump's calls while he lies and says the opposite, doesn't want a deal. They're enjoying their leverage over Donald Trump. And so he is freaking out. It's the reason he tries to bully people, because he knows how weak he is. And so does Mark Carney. Mark Carney also knows how weak Donald Trump is, and it's why he shut him up to his face on an idea he's loved talking about lately, in these two clips right here.
They get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership, and I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
That's true. And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
First state,
Yeah.
if Canadians don't want it, would you respect that?
Sure, I would. But this is not necessarily a one-day deal. This is over a period of time they have to make that decision. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, if I may. Well, if respectfully, Canadians' view on this is not going to change on the 51st state. Secondly, we are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
See, the conflict is
Canada is not for sale. This is perfect for Mark Carney. And for all my Canadian friends watching, we're going to throw some elbows up for y'all. That is how you talk to Donald Trump. You go in there, you refuse to let him bully you because he is so weak and pathetic. And for Trump to say never, no, never. Mark Carney will not be bullied. He will not be pushed around. And this is also so strange to hear from Trump in the context of what he immediately said after Mark Carney shut him down on something he's been talking about since before he was even inaugurated. Listen to what Donald Trump says he wants out of any deal with Canada.
Please.
What's the top concession you want out of Canada? The top concession you want out of Canada?
Concession?
Yes,
Friendship.
but that's not a concession.
No, we're going to be friends with Canada. Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many people that live in Canada. My parents had relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And I love Canada.
You want friendship? You're the one destroying the relationships with our allies all across the world, and you say you want friendship? You're the biggest impediment to that. How does he not understand how destructive he has been to the world order, to our standing around the globe? This is an idiot who has taken a wrecking ball to not just our government, but the entire global economy just through his sheer incompetence alone. He doesn't understand trade. He very clearly doesn't understand trade. He doesn't understand deals either. Everyone wants to talk about that book that he wrote, which he did not write. Listen to what he said about the trading relationship between U.S. and Canada.
During the campaign, Prime Minister Carney talked about the American vitriol. How do you react if Canada decided not to shop in the American store as much as before and decided to partner with other countries?
Well, we don't do much business with Canada from our standpoint. They do a lot of business with us. We're at like 4%.
You could see Mark Carney's face be like, what is he saying? Saying that we don't do much business? They're our biggest trading partner. He doesn't understand. And clearly neither do any of the members of his administration, because when Secretary Scott Bessent was before Congress, he was shredded by Congressman Mark Buchan over tariffs. You just got to check it out.
So my concern is on the tariffs. Who pays tariffs, Mr. Secretary? No, no, no. Answer the questions I asked, please. I only have 5 minutes. Who pays tariffs?
Sorry, well.
Who pays tariffs?
Sorry,
Mr. Secretary, please.
Excuse me.
The question is very simply, who pays tariffs, Mr. Chairman?
The-
I'd like him to answer that question.
Well,
He wants to answer other questions.
well, Congressman, if the, Congressman, if the exporters, they dislike tariffs so much, why wouldn't they, if, I think what you're trying to get me to say.
Did you remember the
the
question? I'm not
US
sure you did. Who pays tariffs?
That it's a very complicated question.
Reclaiming my time. People pay tariffs, right? Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time. You clearly
sir.
aren't going to answer. I'm not going to waste my time having you go,
sir.
Mr. Secretary,
the
reclaiming,
exporters can
Mr.
pay
Chairman,
tariffs
I
and
asked reclaiming
importers
my
can pay
time.
Tariffs.
Mr.
it-
Chairman, and I asked to reclaim my time. Did I not? No, I said reclaiming my time because he's clearly not answering it. So, yeah, so as a small business owner, and unfortunately I'd like that time back since you failed to recognize me for 30 seconds. So I just recently from one of my suppliers got the tariff surcharge on things. And in addition to the tariff surcharge, guess what else got raised? American-made walnut plaques. That has nothing to do with tariffs, but companies take advantage and do that. So right now, we are getting screwed right and left because of the indiscriminate use of tariffs. That's the reality for Main Street. And you go off to Beverly Hills for private investor conferences and talk about crazy Ivan theories. Answer that. What is the crazy Ivan theory of tariffs that you mentioned at the summit?
Well, first of all, sir, I've had meetings with more than 50 small lenders. So I want to clarify that. I would also say that in game theory, strategic uncertainty, of which you seem to like the name Crazy Ivan.
Well, it's your words, correct? Didn't you use Crazy Ivan at the?
Well, you've used it 5 times, and
Answer the question, Mr. Chairman.
I am saying the strategic uncertainty is part of negotiations. That should we say,
Okay,
here's what we'll accept. Please take this.
Okay, I've got your answer. Thank you. I'm going to reclaim my time again. So for a small business, we don't have that luxury, right? When the ports are empty in California and we can't get goods and people are stocking up for Christmas goods, Crazy Ivan is great for, please don't take this offense, really rich people like you, but for people like me, it's not, right? That's what makes small businesses fail. That's what makes people lose their jobs. That's what makes the stock market tank. So I'll ask one more time, who pays tariffs?
Sir, the history would show that it is a complicated mix of who pays the tariffs over various times.
So that's exactly the problem. If your answer, and you are a very educated person, you have a very impressive bio, cannot answer the question who pays tariffs because you won't answer that, and you say it's a complicated issue, it's not complicated. Consumers pay Trump's tariff tax. That's the reality.
This is the most incompetent administration in history. These are stupid people. They're not playing 4D chess. They're not thinking, 4 steps ahead. They're just dumb. And they're costing all of us because of their stupidity. And we got to call it out. We're certainly doing so on the show every single day. So is Mark Carney. I love Mark Carney. We have to get like a little small Canadian flag to a little support. Throw those elbows up. And we're going to be doing that on this channel every single day, calling out the Trump administration. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you're from Canada, drop a red heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.